everyone, Cinephile Mike is here, and we are in it. We're in Season 4 of Awards Season Reviews. We're counting down to the 98th Academy Awards with 98 reviews in 98 days. Quick reminder before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the cinematic goodness coming your way. We are getting ready to wrap up our 5th theme week, the rest of the Golden Globes, mostly. This week I'm covering 7 films in the mix, hoping to grab some gold tomorrow night at the Golden Globe Awards. For the penultimate episode of the week, I am discussing 20th Century Studios' Avatar, Fire and Ash. Written by the team of the film's director, James Cameron, along with Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver, the film opened in theaters right before Christmas of last year. Picking up shortly after the second film, Jake Sully, played by Sam Worthington, and Neytiri, played by Zoe Saldana, and their children Loak, played by Britton Dalton, Tuktiri, played by Trinity Jolie Bliss, and their adopted children, Kiri, a Na'vi, played by Sigourney Weaver, and human son, Miles Spider Socorro, played by Jack Champion. They have settled in with the Metkaina clan, and they are mourning the loss of their first son, Neteam, a grief that hangs heavily over everything that follows. As tensions continue to simmer between the humans and the Na'vi, the family is forced to leave the relative safety of the reefs and return closer to the human-controlled territory when Spider is sent back to the scientist camp. Now, their journey quickly spirals into chaos when a fleet of merchant ships is attacked by the Manquan, a brutal Na'vi tribe led by the powerful Varang, played by Una Chaplin, that has rejected Ewa and embraced violence as a way of life. Now, the ambush scatters the Sully family and draws Jake into a rather fraught alliance with his longtime enemy Quaritch, played by Stephen Lang, as both sides are searching for Spider. Now, amid the turmoil, Spider undergoes a profound transformation that alters his relationship to Pandora itself, while Kiri continues to uncover unsettling truths about her connection to Ewa. Now, as alliances shift and old wounds resurface, the Manquan begin to align themselves with the human forces, escalating the conflict into something far more dangerous than anything the Sullys have faced before. Now, as the threat grows, Jake is forced to make impossible choices to protect his family and the Metkaina people. Long-standing Na'vi traditions are challenged, pacifism is tested, and the looming presence of another large-scale human extraction effort, led by Edie Falco's General Francis Ardmore, threatens the future of Pandora. What follows is a sweeping confrontation that brings together clans, wildlife, and old adversaries, culminating in a battle that may seem familiar, that reshapes the balance between humans and the Na'vi and sets a new course for what lies ahead. There's no denying it. There's not. Avatar, Fire and Ash is the most visually stunning entry in the franchise so far. James Cameron, he continues to operate on a technical level that very few filmmakers can touch. And Pandora has never looked more alive. From the firelit landscapes to the underwater spirit sequences. I mean, look, the film is frequently breathtaking. But the storytelling, it's just so familiar and repetitive. Cameron leans harder into a Civil War dynamic this time, which adds a little bit of texture, though it still presents a strange and sometimes uncomfortable reframing of indigenous conflict, through this big spectacle. Una Chaplin's Varang helps address one of the franchise's long-standing issues, its villains. She's more engaging and more formidable than some of the previous antagonists, and the film gives the opposition clearer stakes that actually matter. But that said, Cameron remains so deeply fixated on the Jake versus Quaritch reality, and at this point it's worn thin when the better one just kind of gets thrown out. Even when the film gestures towards expanding its moral and emotional scope, it repeatedly circles back to the same conflict, undercutting the impact of what should feel like a meaningful escalation. very frustrating. And at over 3 hours, Fire and Ash. The central conflict, shocker, once again revolves around humans extracting a vital resource from Pandora. And even major set pieces, like the third act boat battle, feel like, been there, seen that. Didn't I just see this already? Zoe Saldana, this hurt, typically a highlight, is given limited emotional range here, and Kate Winslet's presence, while holding some significance in the plot, is also just another repeated trope, and she is greatly underused. And while the film makes strides in presenting, powerful female characters, it's like a little bit of a step forward, but not enough to make an impact. Also worth noting, Jack Champion's expanded role is increased to show a new layer of Pandora, but the acting choices that he makes and the direction I'm assuming he gets from Cameron introduce some tonal inconsistencies that don't quite align with the world that's being built and the expectations we've been set to see. The result of all of this is a visually awe-inspiring film that aims to raise the stakes, but finds those efforts falling flat. Okay, let's talk box office and awards. Look, maybe we get this same plot repeated every few years because, look, it's crushing it at the box office. I know that this franchise means a lot to people. And, visually, yes. As of this recording, the film has made $326,390,528 domestically and an additional $779,895,841 internationally. So after less than a month, the film has made $1,106,286,369. And that number's only going to grow week after week. Critically, the audience is liking it more, sitting with a 90% popcorn meter from over 10,000 ratings. And while fresh, the tomato meter is lower at 66% with 338 critical reviews. Award season-wise, Avatar: Fire and Ash is nominated for 2 Golden Globe Awards, Cinematic and Box Office Achievement. So now I have covered all 8. To see the other 7, you can head to the Week 1 videos. And it is nominated for Best Original Song for Dream Is One by Miley Cyrus, Andrew Wyatt, Mark Ronson, and Simon Franklin. Named one of the movies of the year by the AFI and one of the top 10 films of the year by the National Board of Review, while there are some other categories looking at the film, it is primarily being recognized for visual effects, which it won at the Critics' Choice Awards last week. And some of the guilds also are showing recognition with recent nods by the Costume Designers Guild and the Art Directors Guild. And also the Set Decorators Society of America. My apologies. As for its Oscar chances, it has a 50% shot of nods for visual effects, song, score, and sound as it made those shortlists. For me, the only one I'd give it, along with a deserved win, is visuals. So where do I land? Here's the rub. I can't go above 2 stars for this film, which I think is pretty much constant for me with the franchise. While visually stunning, and that's what it earns those for, these films just don't deliver for me. Thoughts? Let me know in the comments. If you are still looking to watch Avatar: Fire and Ash, it is still playing in theaters. Ironically, we are a third of the way through award season review, and this is the first film that's gone below 3 stars for me. Well, that's a wrap on episode 34. We've got 64 more days of these awards coming, so make sure that you stay with me. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, drop your thoughts in the comments. You can follow me everywhere on social platforms, on Letterboxd, and find lots of great additional content on my website, cinephilemike.com. All right, everyone, until next time, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.